Jacob Roloff addresses contradictions of living on family farm after leaving LPBW. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Helen. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Jacob Roloff isn't too bothered by what others think about his living situation. On Sunday, March 30, Roloff addressed the so-called contradictions of living on his family's farm after leaving their reality series, Little People, Big World. Contradictions are sharpening. Roloff. This spring marks 10 years since I got my money from the show I was on for over 10 years of my life. I was 18 and finally had the agency to not sign the contract, so I didn't, and promptly left home mostly due to disgust for the show and reality TV in general. I used that money to build my world back again with my wife, rather than capitalize on it for all it was worth, for better or worse. Growing things and stewarding the land, Roloff wrote. Raising my own kiddo doing the same things I used to do on the farm. Certainly it has been insightful these last 4 years in a lot of ways, both materially learning equipment operation, my own growing style, the systems for farming, etc., and retrospectively what is the farm? Without a TAV crew, what can the farm be? Roloff pointed to various moments in the year that are especially important to his family's farm. Pumpkin season is no doubt still huge for us, and we appreciate those loyal folks who make it out every year, he wrote. Looking forward to this upcoming season and more years to come. On that note, my dream would be that our farm can encourage a more localized community space instead of so heavily relying on out-of-town tourism. It has been fun meeting people from all over the world, but I'd also love to meet some more of our neighbors here in Oregon. He also looked ahead to the future and shared a few of his goals. What I want to do for as long as I am able is to emphasize and deepen a reform back to community-based agritourism. Roloff to contribute positively socially by growing edible food for the community and being an intermittent space for community gathering. Creating useful things and being a useful space. Farmland is sacred now, especially in a world of nearly lost topsoil and diminishing nutrient density in our foods, he continued. And on a larger scale, with farmland all over the country being bought and developed. I am grateful for the opportunity to be where I am to steward this land the best I can. Always learning and growing. I can only hope we have this farm for another generation. Roloff left his family's series Little People, Big World soon after he turned 18 in 2014. In December 2020, his wife Isabel Sofia praised her husband after he said he had been molested while filming the show. When Jacob and I started dating, I got a taste of what being in the public eye means, the artist, 24. It was eye-opening to see that when you are in the public eye, you can't just post whatever you want anymore, because whatever you put out there would usually be followed by a tabloid or a blog talking about it, she continued. Not only that, but you'd also get hundreds of comments from strangers about your life and their opinions on it. This gave me anxiety, still does, but I noticed Jacob was curiously calm about it. I remember reading a few awful comments one day, and being the sensitive being I am thinking to myself, how does he do this? So I decided to ask him, Jacob, how does none of this bother you, Isabel? And his response will never leave me, because it showcases the type of grounded, strong and solid person he is and always has been. Well, it simply doesn't bother me because I know who I am, and they don't, so let them talk. You are the most self-assured person I know, and I am in awe of you. You are free, my love. I am so proud of you. TLC was just informed about an alleged encounter that occurred years ago involving a third party connected to the production of Little People, Big World, TLC said in a statement. We are saddened and troubled by this very serious allegation, and TLC will work cooperatively with the authorities. Our main focus remains on supporting the Roloff family during this very difficult time. Little People, Big World's Jacob Roloff reflects on his life 10 years after leaving the show. Jacob Roloff reflected on his life 10 years after leaving TLC's reality series Little People, Big World, and said the contradictions were sharpening. This spring marks 10 years since I got my money from the show I was on for over 10 years of my life. I was 18 and finally had the agency to not sign the contract, so I didn't, and promptly left home mostly due to disgust for the show and reality TV in general. Jacob, 28, wrote alongside a carousel of photos shared to Instagram on March 29. He added that he used the money to build a world with his wife, Isabel Rock. Jacob and his nine welcomed their son, Mateo Toms, in December 2021, and the former reality star said he was grateful that Mateo was able to grow up doing the same things he did as a child. Certainly, it has been insightful these last 4 years in a lot of ways, both materially, learning equipment operation, my own growing style, the systems for farming, etc., and retrospectively, what is the farm? Without a TV crew, what can the farm be? Without TV, Jacob continued. The dad of one revealed that pumpkin season was still huge for Roloff Farms and expressed his appreciation for the loyal customers that still came year after year. Jacob ultimately wanted to encourage a more localized community space instead of so heavily relying on out-of-town tourism, and create an intermittent space for community gathering, creating useful things and being a useful space. He concluded his message by adding, "I am grateful for the opportunity to be where I am to steward this land the best I can, always learning and growing. I can only hope we have this farm for another generation." Jacob's words came just days after Isabel slammed her father-in-law, Matt Roloff, when she said she and her husband couldn't afford to fully buy it from Matt, in a TikTok video posted on March 27. Fans rushed to the comments with their own harsh words for the Roloff patriarch, 63. Jacob deserves the land, as do all the kids. I hope TLC still pays the kids for reruns. People totally watched the show because of the kids, one TikTok user wrote, referring to Jacob and his siblings, Zach Roloff, Jeremy Roloff, and Molly Roloff. Another person commented, "If I had all that land, I'd just give it to my kids. I'd rather keep it in the family than sell it to a random person who will have no sentimental value in it," Isabel then responded. "We all feel the same way, lol." Fans of Little People, Big World likely know that Jacob, Zach, 34, and Jeremy, 34, all wanted to purchase Roloff Farms from their father, but he decided to put a portion of the land up for sale. In May 2022, Matt listed the property for $4 million, and the decision led to a feud between himself and Zach's wife, Tori Roloff. After Zach and Tori, 33, moved to Washington, since then, Matt has gone back and forth, putting the farm on the market and then taking it off. In February 2024, he announced his plans to leave the property to his ex-wife, Amy Roloff. Matt Roloff's daughter-in-law subtly trashes him for selling Roloff Farms. The drama surrounding Roloff Farms continues. Although Little People, Big World is currently off the air, Matt Roloff still faces heat for his decisions surrounding the family farm. As LPBW viewers watched in season 25, the fate of Roloff Farms became a major topic of contention. Matt's ex-wife, Amy Roloff, felt their 4 kids, Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob, should inherit the farm, as did most LPBW viewers. But Matt had other plans. He wanted to sell the farm to make a profit rather than pass it on to his children. Matt's decision caused a major tiff between him and one of his eldest sons, Zach, which played out on the small screen. Although the rest of the Roloff siblings no longer film for LPBW, some of them have taken to social media to share their opinions about losing out on the farm. Most recently, Jacob Roloff's wife, Isabel Sophia Rock, subtly threw shade at her father-in-law on TikTok. Jacob Roloff's wife, Isabel, slams Matt Roloff online. Isabel, who lives in Matt's former double-wide on Roloff Farms with her husband Jacob, posted a video of Jacob working on the farm. Along with the video, Isabel uploaded a screenshot of a question from a fan on social media who asked, "Plans to take over the farm?" Isabel's response read, "We can't afford to fully buy it from Matt, but we do love living here while we can, and Jacob takes good care of it." Isabel's TikTok was flooded with comments from LPBW viewers who denounced Matt's decision to sell the farm rather than keep it in the family. One such critic wrote, "I keep saying the caddies paid for that farm. People only watch because of the kids. They paid for it with their childhoods." Isabel replied to the comment with a clapping hands emoji. signifying that she wholeheartedly agreed with the sentiment. Another TikTok user, "I really wish he would just split it up between the kids instead of selling it." Rather than expressly state her views throughout the rest of the comments section, Isabel suggested she was on board with her followers' opinions about Matt. Jacob no longer gets paid for his LPBW appearances. Jacob stepped away from filming LPBW in 2016. Since then, he has opted to remain out of the limelight and doesn't share much about his personal life with LPBW viewers. Despite sharing the early years of his life with millions of TLC viewers, Jacob doesn't receive royalties or residuals for the time he invested in reality TV, as Isabel confirmed in another comment.